Abel Mukai. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Award initially purported to represent him, having received a call from Honorable Abel Mose, who gave him oral instructions to represent him. However, Honorable Abel confirmed to the committee that he had not given such instruction to the advocates. Honorable Abel took oath and represented himself. He acknowledged the missing 8 sittings without a written permission from the Speaker. He put in defense by averring that indeed there was confusion infused by several court cases against the county assembly, which necessitated a cash crunch, confusion, and the only option was survival for the fittest. He acknowledged that he had breached the relevant provisions of the law, but pleaded for pardon. While requesting for a second chance, he reiterated the role of an MCA plays to the electorate vis-a-vis the expectations bestowed on him, which overburdens the members. This specific reason led him to attend Bunge Mashinani sittings where resources of the assembly were administered from, in the process avoiding a backlash from the electorate. He said all the action he undertook were purely a reflection from the ground. He sought for mercy and expressed willingness to follow the law by attending plenary and committee sittings at the assembly headquarters. Committee observations from the submissions. Number 1, he prioritized his personal interests over his official duties and conducted himself in a manner that caused a conflict between his personal interests and official duties. 2, he knowingly and willfully breached the relevant provisions of the law. 3, he admitted his offense, was remorseful for his actions, and sought for lenient punishment. 4, he was unable to give satisfactory explanation for his absence. However, from the record, he occasionally attended the sessions at the county assembly. Next, Honorable Bara Edina Mora. Mr. Omori initially purported to represent her. However, he later confirmed that she sent him her summons but failed to give him instructions to present her. Honorable Bara neither attended the hearings nor did she send a signal, a legal representative or written permission, or written submission. Committee observations from the submissions. By failing to appear before the committee, she waived her constitutional rights to a fair hearing. 2, she treated the committee with contempt and failed to give the matter the seriousness it deserved. 3, the advocate indicated that she was outside the country, but there was no evidence of permission on travel, of permission to travel outside Kenya from the Speaker. Next, Honorable Onyancha Lamexwe. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Square appeared with Advocate Hilary Tomowod. He admitted missing 8 sittings and submitted that there was confusion, there were stay orders on impeachment of Okero, and after the moment judgment, he assumed his duties at the main assembly buildings. He stressed on the need for reconciliation based on genuine forgiveness. Committee observations from the submissions. From his demeanor, he appeared arrogant, defiant, and was trying to justify his actions. 2, he alluded that the committee was to conduct reconciliatory proceedings as opposed to disciplinary procedure. He did not give the matter the seriousness it deserved. 3, he failed to serve the committee with the conservative orders that he purported to have conserved the position of the Speaker. Number 4, he admitted his offense, was remorseful for his actions, and sought for lenient punishment. 5, he knowingly and willfully breached the provisions of the relevant laws. 6, he was unable to give satisfactory explanation for his absence. However, from the record, he occasionally attended the sessions at the county assembly. Honorable Mr. Nyambega is next. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Amori initially purported to represent him. However, Honorable Nyambega confirmed to the committee that he had not given such instruction to the advocate. He took oath and represented himself. He admitted missing 8 sittings, but alleged that he sought the permission of the Speaker on 4th December 2024 to meet the sittings of 5th and 10th December and delegated his voting rights to Honorable Nyangana. The power he exercised on 19th December 2024 during the elections of Honorable Thaddeus Nyabaro as the Speaker. The committee requested for documentary evidence to support his allegations. However, he failed to produce the same. He admitted hosting the illegal bunge machinari sittings at the legal award offices, despite being aware that the same ought to have been deliberated, approved and gazetted by the County Assembly. He alleged that it was beyond his capacity to deny access to the premise, to deny access. He alleged that it was beyond his, as a lawyer, he was fully aware of the legal requirements for bunge machinari to be conducted. Further, he was aware that Honorable K was impeached and his impeachment was never set aside. He accepted participating in the bunge machinari, including passing the supplementary budget at Manga Ward, despite knowing that the bunge machinari was illegal. As a lawyer and as a leader, he was aware of the provisions of the law on absence and the consequences of such absence. Mr. Speaker, as a leader of the UPA party, he acknowledged championing the interests of the governor, who is a member of the UPA party. He even alluded that he advised the executive to withdraw the appeal filed on the supplementary budget. He also stated that he had given instruction to an advocate to withdraw his statements from petition 10 of 2025. His closing remarks focus on his personal interest as he sought the lenience of the committee, on the basis that he's young, with political ambitions, and trying to make a living from politics. Comes observations from their submissions. As a lawyer, he ought to have guided the members who abandoned their official duties at the County Assembly for an illegal bunge machinari, which he participated in as a result of misleading others. 2. As a state officer entrusted a public office, he failed to be accountable for his actions of hosting proceedings on the illegal bunge machinari. 3. As a UPA party leader, he ought to have used his influence as a conveyor belt to bring peace and harmony between the two arms of the government, but also be the architect of the disputes between the executive and the assembly. 5. He prioritized his political interests over his official duties and conducted himself in a manner that caused a conflict between his personal interests and official duties. 6. He failed to tender documentary evidence of his permission for absence from the sittings. 7. He knowingly and willfully breached the relevant provisions of the law. 8. He was unable to give satisfactory explanation for his absence. Next, Honorable Abere Elijah Sao. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Abere appeared without a legal representation. He acknowledged missing a, added that he was an ardent supporter of Wanyama. He informed the members that he attended the Senate proceedings and was aware of its advisory that members resumed their duty at the County Assembly. He confirmed that even after that advisory, he had not resumed his duties of attending the County Assembly sittings. In his closing remarks, he said that he had realized his mistakes and pleaded forgiveness. In a remorsive tone, he gave his mitigation that he's a sole breadwinner, a single parent, and has pleaded for a lenient. Page 25, committee observations from the submission. He made false assertions, hence his submissions not credible. 2. He prioritized his personal interest of supporting the immediate speaker over his official duties and conducted himself in a manner that caused a conflict between his personal interest and official duties. 3. Knowing and willfully breached the relevant provisions of the law. 4. He was unable to give satisfactory explanation for his absence. Honorable Speaker, next is a submission by Honorable Nyakani Jeria Kerubu. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Ongoli initially purported to represent her. However, Honorable Jelaya confirmed to the committee that she had not given such instruction to the advocate. She took oath and represented herself. She was examined in Kiswahili, a language she was able to understand. She acknowledged the missing 8 sittings without approval of the Speaker. She acknowledged that Okeru was impeached and that the impeachment has never been set aside. She also confirmed that she was aware of the consequences of absence from the county assembly sittings. She pleaded for forgiveness and submitted that she is ready to attend the plenary sittings at the county assembly and prayed for reconciliation. Comes observations, Mr. Speaker. She knowingly and willfully breached the relevant provision of the law. She was unable to give satisfactory explanation for her absence. Next, Honorable Nyakundi Janos Nafua. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Janos appeared with her legal representative, Mr. Ongori. She denied missing 8 sittings, stating that she needed to be supplied with the attendance registers since the inception of the assembly to establish indeed she missed the 8 sittings of the county assembly. Further, she alleged that she was confused and asked the committee to forgive her confusion. Observations by the committee. The committee observed that she was not ready to give information by pleading confusion without stating what was confusing her. 2, she was not a credible witness. She initially accepted that she had missed the 8 sittings because she was attending Bunga Mashinani, but after further interrogation, she denied the allegation of missing 8 sittings. 3, despite rebutting that she did not miss 8 sittings from the official records, she missed 8 sittings of the county assembly. 4, she was not remorseful for her actions, and therefore failed to tell any litigation for consideration. 5, she knowingly and willfully breached the relevant provisions of the law. 6, she was unable to give satisfactory explanation for her absence from the county assembly sittings. Next is Honorable Spora Matumula. Several occasions had made it difficult for her to juggle between hospital and attending the assembly sitting. However, it was her submission that she would occasionally attend to Bunga Mashinani proceedings when she was okay. Further, she failed to provide any proof to support her medical condition. She averred that she was aware that the county assembly passed a resolution declaring Bunga Mashinani illegal. She supported her attendance to the Mashinani faction, a result of confusion surrounding several court cases and the Gazette notices. She also confirmed that she attended the Senate proceedings and was aware of the Senate resolutions. She was remorseful and pleaded for forgiveness and assured the committee that she is willing to comply with the law. Committee observations. 3, she knowingly and willfully breached the relevant provisions of the law. Number 4, she was unable to give satisfactory explanation for her absence. Mr. Speaker, committee findings from the honorable members' submissions. The Committee on Powers and Privileges, having considered the 12 honorable members' submissions pursuant to legal framework aforementioned in the previous parts of this report, find 1. That the 12 members took an oath of office at the County Assembly of Nyamira, and their term of office runs from 2022 to 2027. A similar oath was never administered at Bunga Mashinani, hence their workplace never changed to the various venues where they attended while abandoning their duty to sit at the County Assembly of Nyamira. Number 2, that the 12 members are state officers expected to be aware of the legal provisions of the law and expected to uphold the Constitution and all other relevant laws. As state officers, they all preach Chapter 6 of the Constitution and the Leadership and Integrity Act. 3, that the members were aware that for a county assembly to conduct the Bunga Mashinani, the same must originate from a motion which is approved by the county assembly and gazetted. However, they opted to abandon the county assembly sittings for a Bunga Mashinani that never followed the due process before being gazetted by an impeached speaker, whose impeachment had not been set aside by a competent court of law. 4, that the members were fully aware of the provisions of the law on attendance of county assembly sittings, the requirement for a written permission from the speaker for absence and the consequences for absence without permission as provided for in Article 75(2)(b) and 1941(c), the Constitution of Kenya, Section 17(c) of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act, in their submission, none had written approval from the Speaker. 5. That the 12 members alluded they were confused because Okero had conservatory orders. However, none supplied the committee with any court order that conserved the position of the former Speaker. The issues that were determined by the court never included permission to be absent from the sittings of the County Assembly. The duty to attend the sittings of the County Assembly is unconditional. It does not depend on who is the Speaker. 6. That the members willfully abandoned their duty to sit at the County Assembly of Nyamira, even after the Senate had given an advisory that they resume duty at the County Assembly of Nyamira, and the others, even after the judgment rendered on 4th June 2025, had not reported back to work. 7. That the members' actions amounted to a breach of their privileges and a serious violation of the Constitution of Kenya, Article 75 and 194(1)(b). The County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act, Section 16C. And the County Assembly of Nyamira Standing Orders 239, which they took an oath to uphold as state officers. Number 8. That all the 12 members missed day sittings at the County Assembly of Nyamira and they were subject to the disciplinary procedure for the relevant office. Mr. Speaker, judicial precedents. The Committee on Powers and Privileges, Mr. Speaker, considered various case laws where similar circumstances arose, and the determinations that were made by the relevant committee